So, recently I reacted to the new Marathon gameplay trailer, and I not really give my opinions unfortunately. All I said was, it could be the next Concord. It could be Concord 3, and I said I think it will be a flop and it will be unsuccessful. And I posted the video at like 2 o'clock in the morning, went to bed, come back, and I had 2 comments on my video. Someone just commenting Chud, and then you had this comment here. And this video is not really a response to this comment. Well, I mean, it kind of is, but it's not really. This is more like, me just giving my opinions on Marathon and Highguard and Concord, which I've been wanting to do for a long time, but I've just been busy with the Resident Evil games. Anyway, but the comment said, I understand not all games are for everyone, and that's okay if this game isn't for you. Even I am not too fond of massive popular and successful games like ARC Raiders, Marvel Rivals, or even Fortnite or Valorant, but I do recognise they are great games in their own right, even though I don't play them. So for you to say that this game is going to be an instant flop is widely out of touch and just some clickbait, rage bait garbage. I will go ahead and say I'm a fan of Marathon, and I will play it and have lots of fun. I would highly recommend you take a look at the reception of the game before it's released and see there is a massive audience that will think the game will be wildly successful, very successful. Now, this is my opinion on Marathon. Do I think the game's going to be successful? No. And I know a lot of people comparing it to Concord, saying it's the next Concord. It's Concord 3.0, it's Concord 3. I mean, someone made this, the Concordian timeline. You got Concord, Highguard, Marathon, and Horizon Hunter's Gathering. Obviously, these two games haven't come out yet. Now, do I think Marathon will be a flop like Concord? No, I don't think it will be as big as a flop as Concord and Highguard. I still think it will be a flop in its own right. I still think it will be unsuccessful. And out of all these games, Marathon will probably be the most successful out of all these games. It will probably have the most player count. It will probably have a higher player count than all of these games. And it'll probably be most successful. But I still think it'll be a flop. I still think it might not be as a significant flop as Concord, but it still will be a flop. And I think it will be considered unsuccessful by itself. But let's have a look at some gameplay footage, right? This was uploaded April 22nd, 2025. But this is some gameplay footage of Marathon. I mean, obviously, the game... Visually, the game looks okay, the game looks good, but then most games that come out nowadays, do look good, right? Because of graphics and technology's advanced so far. But what does this game have to offer compared to,
prepare for increased
what does this game have to offer compared to other games? Like, if you look at other online games, other online shooters, like, what does this offer that's unique to this game compared to games like Marvel Rivals, Apex Legends, Overwatch, Valorant, and there's so many more. But, it just looks... If you go back to this one again,
for the full release.
It just looks like a standard, just generic game. There's nothing really special about it. And because of this, I don't think it will be a success. I mean, even the art style, even though it is vibrant and there are colours, it just looks generic and it looks bland. Just look at the gameplay footage. What is unique about Marathon? I mean, even compare it to Call of Duty Warzone. What does this game offer that is unique compared to these other online shooter games? It just looks like a generic AI slot game. It just looks like a generic online shooter game. It doesn't look anything special, even though the art style stands out from everything else, and we'll get onto the art style in a minute. Even though the art style does kind of stand out from other games, it doesn't really appeal to the eye. Like, it just looks bland and unfinished. And talking about the art style, I don't know if anyone remembers this, but this was ages ago. Bungie, I'm going to say allegedly, just to cover my back here, but, they allegedly stole artwork off a creator.
Mentioned artists with a very similar art style as well compared to Marathon.
So this game, Marathon, has already had a lot of controversy. Now, the issue did get resolved. I think they settled it behind closed doors, and the artist got compensation for it, and I think they removed it from the game, or they paid her to use it, whatever, right? But
15th of 2025, posted on social media, quote, "The Marathon Alpha released recently, and its environments are covered with assets lifted from poster designs I made in 2017." End quote. By itself, that might be nothing, but Anti-Real included a variety of comparisons, which make it extremely clear that not only are the designs similar, they're flat out copied and pasted into Marathon. Here's an example. The Aleph Darkspace haulage logistics graphic, which appears pixel for pixel all over the game assets. Or how about this, where you can see portions of Anti-Real's work flipped horizontally and pasted in, where they didn't even bother to fully remove text that reads Anti. That's not enough. How about the fact that Anti-Real's own logo is visible in numerous different locations throughout the game, because the artwork of Marathon was cut, copied, and literally pasted into their product. Graphics on the Marathon website, graphics from their video trailers, graphics from pretty much the entire project, which can be found.
Now, this was ages ago. The issue obviously did get resolved, but it's just more controversy around Marathon, and the art. It did get resolved. They had a private agreement, probably compensation or something. You can go look it up anyway. And if you want to, go look at this video, I'll put a link in the description. But this is ages ago. Probably everyone knows about this. But what does Marathon offer that other games? What is unique about Marathon compared to other games? It just doesn't look that appealing. And also, if you look at the character design as well, I mean, let's have a look at the character design. I think this was an older design of when the game first came out. But look at the characters. The characters aren't really that appealing. They aren't cool. Like, look at the especially Marathon's characters. Like, to me, the art style, it doesn't look visually appealing on the eye. I wouldn't want to play as these characters. Marathon, it just doesn't look that appealing. But the thing is, if we go back to the Marathon gameplay one last time, where is it? And the thing is, right, if we're talking about Marathon, right, so comparing Marathon, Concord, High Guard, and Horizon, whatever the game is, I forget what it's called, Horizon Hunters the Gathering, comparing all of them now. I don't think Marathon. I don't think it should probably be considered Concord 3, because I don't think it will fail as much as Concord 3. As Concord. Can you put it in that category? Maybe. We have to see when it comes out. When it comes to the gameplay, let's just watch the gameplay again, right? Let's just watch, I don't know, a couple of minutes of the gameplay. I mean, what is unique about this gameplay? It just looks bland. It looks boring. It doesn't offer anything unique. I suppose you can say, oh well, the art style is unique. The art style is what sets this apart from other games. But I would rather play a game that has something unique and is good. Not just for the art style. I mean, this just looks like a generic average shooter, but it just offers, it offers nothing unique. Like, if you compare this game to Call of Duty Warzone or Overwatch, ARC Raiders, Apex Legends, and all of the other games out there, online shooter games, FPS games, whatever you want to call them, it just doesn't offer anything unique. And I don't think, and for that particular reason, because it doesn't offer anything unique in comparisons to the other games, I just don't think it will be as successful. I don't think it will be a successful game. I do think it will be a flop. Will it be as a great flop as Concord and High Guard? That remains to be seen. I don't think it will. I think it will be a flop. Can you label it Concord 3? Some people will. I don't know. Obviously, when the game first come out, it probably will have a high player count. It might have 100,000 players or 150,000 players. I mean, High Guard had a high player count when it came out. But gradually, over week 1, week 2, week 3, over the first month, once after the first week of Marathon being out, I think the player count will drop. It'll probably maybe have anywhere between 2,000 to maybe 4,000 player count after the first couple of days or first week of it playing out, because I think the average player who's playing this game, they'll probably get bored of it, and it'll be like, it will have a high play. Maybe the first few days it will have a high player count where players are playing it, they're trying it, but then after, I think people go back to Call of Duty Warzone or go back to other games, because this game doesn't offer anything unique compared to these other games. Just have a look at this, right? Let's compare some things. So you got Concord High, and this is from Gronk, Twitter's AI, or X's AI, whatever you want to call it. So it might not be 100% accurate, but these are the stats they give me. Concord was $40, High Guard was free to play, and Marathon is $40. Now, I don't know. I don't think Marathon will probably maybe get a higher play count as High Guard, because obviously High Guard was a free to play game. Marathon you got to pay $40 for. And if we go back to the gameplay, you know, it doesn't really offer anything unique. Now, I think it will get a higher player count. Will it get a higher player count in Highguard? I don't know. I don't think so. Purely because, you know, with Highguard, it's a free game. People, even if they see all the controversy with it or see whatever, they'll go, okay, I'll give it a try at least anyway. And then with Marathon, you've got a $40 price tag that's slapped onto it as well. So let's have a look at Concord's highest player counts, right? And I think this is why Marathon, and this will be a factor into why Marathon maybe won't be as successful. So Concord was $40, between $40 and $60 when it came out, and it had around 697 players. And apparently that was the peak. I think that was the peak. I think that was the all-time player count. There you go, look, 697 players. Now we look at Highguard, which is a free-to-play game. Even though it was still a massive flop, and most people consider it Concord 2.0, it was a free-to-play game, and it had around 100,000 players. And if we look on, yeah, so at launch, it was around 100,000 players. Within 24 hours, it rapidly declined. It lost over 80% of its players, and it was between 3,000 to 4,000. And I don't know what it is. Let's have a look at what it is currently. So, according to the Steam charts, let's have a look. Highguard, the current player count, is around 2,200. Now, with Marathon, if we go back to this, yeah, with Marathon being, you know, $40, $50, however much it's going to be, I don't think it'll get as high as a player count. Will it get over 100,000? Will it get around 100,000 mark? I don't think so. It's possible. It is possible. Anything's possible. But I think we'll get more players than Concord. I don't think it'll be as high as Highguard, because Highguard was a free-to-play game. I mean, you compare Concord and Highguard and that. You know, almost 700 players. It was $40 price tag on it. Free-to-play, 100,000. Marathon, which is going to be around $40, $50. I don't think it will do that. And Highguard at the moment is currently getting 2,000 players. And I think it'll probably be the same with Marathon. I think with Marathon, after the first week or 2 weeks, I think it will probably get a player count of maybe around between 1,000 to 3,000, because there is going to be a fan base for it, however small or big. But I just don't think a game like this is going to be worth $40 game. I don't think many people is going to play it. Now that could be wrong, but I still think it will be a flop because it doesn't offer anything unique. It's not visually appealing to the to the eye. And if you compare other games that are free to play, Marvel Rivals, Call of Duty, Warzone, even if it does get an all-time, so let's just say it gets an all-time peak of 200,000 players, which I don't think is going to happen. I don't think it will get more than 100,000 players. I could be wrong, but let's just say it gets an all-time player peak or 2,000 players. Or after the first week, or even after maybe the first 24 hours, I think it will lose a lot dramatically. I think after the first week, say it gets let's just say it matches Highguard, right? It gets 100,000 players. I think after the first week, a lot of people maybe won't play it. And I don't even think it will get 100,000 players because it has got that $40 price tag on it. Compared to Highguard, which is a free game, got around 100,000. Concord, you know, had a $40 price tag on it, only got 700 players. And they obviously, you know, Concord was a really big flop. It was a bad game. But with Marathon, it's got a $40 price tag on it. There's been loads of controversy with it as well, you know, now and in the past. It doesn't look visually appealing. Is it going to be a successful game? I don't know. That's going to be... I think it will be a flop. I don't think it will have a high enough player count, but I don't think it will be considered to be on the same level as Concord and Highguard. Who knows? Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But I think with Marathon being a paid game as well, like you have to pay for it, I think that is going to heavily impact the numbers of the players who are going to play this game. And I think it will probably end up being a fail. Not as much as Concord and Highguard. Out of all these games, Marathon, it might end up being the most successful, but at the end of the day, it's got a $40 price tag on it. You have to pay for it. It's not a free-to-play game, which I think will impact it. Visually, it's not visually appealing. The character's not visually appealing. The art style and the gameplay just looks generic. It looks like any other online shooter game. You know, what is unique about this game compared to any other game? And that is my reason why I think Marathon will fail. But anyway, don't forget to leave a comment in your opinion below. Like the video. This is my first type of video, you know, making anything like this. My first time making a video like this. So, you know, cut me some slack. And, yeah. See ya.